Hello everybody, good evening, welcome, namaste. Uh, this is Dr. Rao. We had a lot of storms in the last 1 hour, so we were told to go to the basement to stay there, and they passed very quickly. So I was able to come and start this in my studio here in my study. I hope nobody had any problems with the storms going on. So welcome to my series, the new series we started yesterday. Yesterday we started with gratitude, right? That's a good one for everybody. So this is the new series on one tip a day on wellness. Simple but implementable, and we can go deep on that. But my aim is to bring in people, and maybe they will come and share their experience with this wellness tip. I'm sure they're already very common tips I'm going to start with, so that people can share their experiences, then their input. I would like that very much if people can come and share their tips, and I will contribute my bit and my perspective, no problem. I can go on talking like that too, but then I thought it is much more fun to engage other people to share these wellness tips. See, my aim is to really make an impact on getting oriented to wellness systems, bring in wellness know-how, both from the science and also spirituality, to enhance our lives, right? Especially the modern lives that are either taking the scientificism of the science, or ignorance about the ancient wisdom. Okay, so I want to bring in my scientific view of whatever happening in the modern science, and also truths from the ancient wisdom, free of religious, cultural, or language or country overtones. I'm a truly world citizen living in the USA that has the world perspective, truly, and that was deliberately cultivated and protected. So everybody is welcome. Everybody is really dig into that own experience and present whatever you have to do. Today, we are going to deal with that deep breathing or mindful breathing, or awareness breathing and all that. This is very important, as you all know. Without the breath, we don't have anything, right? But many people don't really realize how vital that is, and how we should really cultivate this deep breathing as a habit and as regularly as possible. I give it so much importance. I claim this is the reason I am so energetic all the time. I'm 69, as I told you. but I have the energy of a 30-year-old probably. Many of them can't keep up with me, So, I mean, that's a little bit of about myself, but then I can't help to say that, because deep breathing is such a vital part of my yoga practice, and also the way the yoga practice of deep breathing is really presented is that was revealing to me. I'm a physician. I know about the respiratory physiology and the anatomical structure of our respiratory system, and even the cellular level, what happens with the gaseous exchange, and also diffusion capacity. All those things we deal with, right? Pulmonary function testing, and really helping people to understand where their respiratory system and all that. That prepared me to understand how things go scientifically, but the functionality of it, my own respiratory system functionality, and thereby my cellular metabolism, energy production, that has taken a significant turn upward when I started to really understand yogic breathing and started to do that. See, you cannot build up the capacity all of a sudden. Like everything else, you got to go very slowly. But some of them are so significant for me. There's something they say in Sanskrit, no, not Sanskrit, in Hindi. Abhi karo, abhi pao. Abhi means now. Karo means do it. Abhi means right now. Pao means get the benefits right away. That is the effect of deep breathing, especially the yogic way. There are so many varieties are there. I kind of teach 10, 15 varieties, to my class on the wellness club in the morning. But I incorporate the entire practice on deep breathing. So there is a lot to use the deep breathing for. Okay, and then at the end of the class, almost everybody tells me their energies have gone up, and they feel much more vital and rejuvenated and all that. That's one of the things that we check, whether anybody is feeling weak or not having the energy and all that. But everybody reports that. So it's very, very important that we do that mindful breathing, because just take 5 minutes in the deep breathing exercise to center yourself and also reduce the stress, right? That is what I have been talking about. It not only gives you energy and centers you, and also reduces your stress. Okay, see, this involves the mindful breathing is involves paying close attention to the natural rhythm of your breath, feeling the air enter through your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then the release of tension as you exhale. Usually, the teaching is exhalation should be longer than inhalation. And this simple practice, see, it doesn't require any special equipment and can be done anywhere at any time, making it a versatile tool for immediate stress relief and also long-term emotional regulation. You can be centered in your emotions too. So I'm going to go through some take-home points that I wanted to give you. You know these things very well, but I'm just going to, for the completion sake, how do you do this mindful deep breathing is, obviously, you want to sit in a comfortable chair or on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you. I would prefer to sit down on the floor, but sometimes I also sit down with the students on the chair. That's okay. And then put both your feet on the floor flat, right? And then sometimes you put on the cross leg, that's better too. But then keep your back straight, but not stiff. Okay? and put your hands comfortably on your lap or also knees. Okay, and then close your eyes. Comfortable, gently close your eyes to minimize any external distractions. Right, as simple as that. This helps you focus more on your breath and internal stability. Okay, to have that internal state that is stable. Then first thing is observe your natural breath, how you are breathing out. Don't make any judgment, don't say this should be that. Just be aware of how you are breathing right now. And then so you may take normal breaths and that are maybe shallow, that's okay, and then after your observation you will naturally go into deepen your breath. Okay, slowly transition, into deeper breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose and allowing the chest and lower body to raise with you. Okay, till you feel completely full. Then pause every moment and then breathe it out. That's all. Then how does the attention comes into this is as the breath becomes deeper and slower, your thoughts also will become slower, and you can focus your attention on the nostrils as the air coming in, the touch sensation that you feel, and as you breathe out the touch sensation goes on, right? And if you want you can put a timer, you know and when you are just starting, it can be have a timer, because a lot of people lose the time. It is for 5 minutes. This allows you to fully engage in the exercise without worrying about the time, right? And then gradually you can increase your duration of how you are breathing, right? And as the breath becomes your anchor, and then whenever you are feeling overwhelmed during your life situations, use this tool to calm you down. That's the idea, right? And then you want to incorporate this into your daily routine. Okay, and then after you practice, sit down and reflect. How did I breathe? What happened? How is my mental clarity? How is my emotional state? Has there been any change? That kind of thing. Okay. So usually this is taught by yoga masters for serious students who want to really go to the depths of the pranayama. So there is Bhastrika, Kapalabhati, Agnisara, Tribandhas, and Shitali, Shitkari, uh, so many varieties, right? All these varieties have significant effect on different systems. So you want to take a really experienced yoga teacher and yoga master actually, and then learn from them so that you can do these things well enough, but also not to make them cause harm to you. Because if these practices are not done properly, you can have some side effects from it. So you always want to be oriented towards that. Okay, be careful with them. That's why I teach them very slowly. I make sure that they are doing them, and then they are kind of assessing what happened to their system, and then don't go deep into that. Okay, it is like a muscle. You use some dumbbells to get the strength, but you want to go gradually, right? You want to train them, not to strain them. Respiratory system is much more vulnerable to this. That's why you want to do that. There is one called, for example, anuloma viloma. That's like alternate nostril breathing. If you do that, normally what happens is one nostril is dominant, and then in 45 minutes the other nostril becomes dominant. But to be efficient, to get more air into the system, you want to have both nostrils working at their optimum. So you can do this alternate nostril breathing to open both nostrils. And then you can do just one exercise that's good enough in the beginning. It's called Bhastrika. So how you do it is, again, the seated position, and then keep your spine straight, and then close your eyes, and then close your mouth, and take deep breaths in and out through the nose. So for a count of seven, you take deep breath going through the nostrils and hold it for four count, and then blow it out for eight or nine count. That is one round. Then you go on doing up to eight, and you do this in preparation. You will be having an empty stomach, and then you do it in a calm atmosphere, and then you get used to that, right? If you do that before meal, before breakfast, before lunch, and before dinner, that particular exercise is more than enough for you. But as you go deeper into it, you will see you have a emotional state is stabilized, concentration is better, and you are able to learn better, retain better, and all those side effects will come. Your energy will be very, very high, even if you are working hard. And then you can be in the present moment if you can be anchored to your breath. So, what I prescribe to my physician or nurses, whoever is burning out or stressed out, or the IT professionals or the company leaders, these are the three categories I train, right? I tell them, first in the morning, do this deep breathing along with whatever exercise you do, and then center yourself in your presence, and then carry that through the day. But take 1 minute break every 1 hour, and that 1 minute dedicate to deep mindful breathing. That will do wonders for you, because in this information age, we work with a lot of information, lot of data coming to us, and if you don't give a break for that, it will accumulate, and then you will be paying for that information overload. Okay, so I will be talking about that later in the series. But then this is a good cure for anybody. Okay, do the deep breathing as many times as possible. But why I say 1 hour is, you will be, for a physician who will be doing so many patients and so many charts, so much discussions with the insurance company, with the nurses, with the family, all with administration. We have so many meetings, right? So we have a lot of data coming to us. And then if you continue on the same thing, then you will never have given a break to your thought patterns, your continuity of this information overload, excess information. You will pile on it more and more and more, and that becomes a problem. Instead, empty the mind completely every 1 hour for 1 minute by deep breathing. If you cannot empty it, at least take a break from that. Okay, and this works very well for people, because if they understand, if they are really religious about it, in the sense of they are doing it for their own sake every 1 hour, or maybe few hours, whatever works for you, or if you are going driving somewhere, and then people go from one place to other place, right? By physicians, we have to see patients sometimes at different hospitals in the same city, then we have to drive there. So whenever you see a red light, stop there, and then use the time just to take deep breaths. That's what I told my son, and he's doing that all the time. So anybody can do that, right? And as you are deep breathing, also try to be centered in your presence, in your inner self. And that is the one which really cuts down all this continuous thought, network of thought. But what we are doing in modern life is, we are not using thought in an efficient way. We are allowing to form more and more and more network, which are really going to take over their own life, and then they will come to you whenever you are not aware of it. So you are thinking unconsciously, and left the thoughts just like that without doing anything about it, they slip into your subconscious, and then they come up. This is called samskaras, or tendencies. And that's a big yogic way of explaining thought thought control, silence, and stillness, and all that. I can tell you, most of the time, I do a lot of data because I'm a big data person, right? I do a lot of reading, a lot of teaching, a lot of meetings, right? And but I kind of learn to keep my mind silent when I'm not in those activities. Simple. All you have to do is go into what you are doing, use the thought faculty for that, and after that, finish it off. How you go to the next activity or next patient or next client, whatever your business is, focus completely on that person and use the thought relevant to that, not bringing on what happened in the past or a few days ago or this morning and all that. Okay, so if you can strive to be in the presence by taking deep breaths, then you will be in the present all the time. But if you want to come from your personality, from your own experiences, your own opinions, then you have another problem. That is a personality. But as a yoga person, what happens is that ego personality is gone. You transcended, you understood it's not really you, and then you land up in your real present self, and then from there you operate. So every time you go to somebody, you will try to give them complete attention by not bringing all these memories, all these things. You may have to because of the history or because of some other, but that is neutral, right? But your opinion about the other person, your tendencies to take your own judgments and compulsions and all that, they are gone. Okay, so I can use the patient's past history. He had his surgery, he has his medical illnesses, he has his allergies, he has his medications. They're all relevant to the present situation. But then I don't have to take an opinion like this guy looks ugly or this guy doesn't have money, this guy belongs to this country. Those things are gone. Our own prejudices, our own judgments, they are gone. So learn to be in the present with any encounter. This will work wonders with your relationships, either your spouse, your kids, or other people, because you're always coming to them with a beginner's mind, not a mind that's loaded with your own. All this is possible when you connect deep breathing with the thought and slow the thought by taking deep breaths, and also use the breath to be mindful here and now. That's what I tell in my wellness club. You know what I tell my students? You're going to be here and now. That's the first principle. You're going to deep breath. That is the second principle. And you do both sides of the body equally. The yoga stretches, yoga asanas, we call it. We do that, right? So they are in the present, practicing to be in the present through the hour. That's why I call this is an hour of awareness, aided by deep breath. Okay, so I think I'm clear about that, I believe. Uh, so anybody has any questions or inputs or anything that you want to talk about this? You are welcome to come up and share with me whatever your experience with the deep breathing is, and what are the clues you want to give to everybody, and and we can go on talking about it, but I don't want to go too deep into the yoga science because that may be not needed really. If you want to examine, that's fine. Okay. So Tova is coming. So it's all a question of being in the present, most of the time. Hi Tova. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Very good.
This is probably the hardest thing for me to do is deep breathe. I don't know why exactly it is,
Yeah.
but I just don't like doing it. I really don't like doing it. I don't mind breathing. I just don't want to focus on that practice. So is there any tips you have on how to get me to be more focused to do it?
That's the key, more focus. Okay, what it is breathing and thinking, they come from the same power. So if you breathe very rapidly, your thought also goes pretty rapidly. And if you are thinking rapidly, your breathing also shallow and rapid. Okay. So if you are thinking rapidly and you don't have focus, deep breathing brings you that. So in the beginning, it's difficult. So simple thing. I don't know you were here when I was telling them the tips about the deep breathing. Were you here, Clover?
I was not here, so please continue.
Okay. Yeah, there were 10 tips I was giving. I will go through them for you. Very simple. First of all, you got to have a comfortable position. If you are sitting in the chair, keep both your feet flat on the floor, right? And then keep your spine like erect, not stiff, but just to keep it straight. And then close your eyes. Then observe your natural breath. Don't say this is good or nothing, just observe it. And then now deepen the breath to whatever you can do. Just take a deep breath, hold it, and then breathe out. This is the preliminary. And then, as you are breathing, focus your attention on the nostrils. Feel the air coming in, coming out. Okay? That focus improves your focus much more. And in case you want to have 5-minute timer, that will be good to do in the beginning. Okay, have a timer start and then do as many breaths as you possible till the 5 minutes is over and the alarm goes. Then open your eyes. Okay, you can increase the duration of the breath slowly. Okay, so in my wellness club, I do 10-15 varieties, but you don't have to do all of them. Only this particular deep breath in, holding, and breathe out. If you do on an empty stomach in the morning before breakfast for 8 rounds, and then before lunch, 8 rounds, and before dinner, 8 rounds, you are set.
That's a wonderful guideline. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, hey, Hakeem.
Hey, Dr. Rao.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am great. No problem. We had got through a storm here, so we were told to go to a basement. We all did. And then luckily, nothing happened to our neighborhood. So we are okay.
Yeah. I was in Virginia Beach yesterday, and I think the day before yesterday there was a tornado warning.
Yeah.
I found out, and I was sitting out in a parking lot, like doing some work on my laptop, and it was some pretty serious wind. I thought it was a hurricane.
Yeah.
But it was a tornado. It was pretty strong, but it passed by. You know, the same thing. A warning came in and said to seek shelter and whatnot. But fortunately, you know, everything worked out. Everything's good.
See, we live on the banks of Mississippi, right? And there is a bay area here, and they told me all the storms that come out kind of divert here because of that. That's why we are okay. That's what they gave me the explanation. But I don't get scared that easily because I've been into real storms in India and here too. So I think.
Well, I've learned to not get scared of anything. Just, you know, it's nature. It is what it is, and you know, you can take precautions, but you know, fear is not going to help.
Yeah, I was actually sitting in my study upstairs and doing my work. My wife came and said, "No, I have to go." She scares easily, so. Just to make her happy, I went down. Nothing happened really. The storm passed us. They were predicting tornadoes. That's why they were asking us to go down. But nothing happened, hopefully. Yeah.
Well, you know, I always enjoy your talks, especially about breathing. Because it's something that's a major practice of my life, and you know, I'm pretty satisfied with today I was working on a reality show down in Miami. And I never really paid attention to it before, but it's called The Ultimatum, and it's some show about people you know, in relationships, and the ultimatum is, you know, either ask me to marry you or leave the relationship or something like that. But I noticed I'm working in the art department, and I'm doing a lot of moving around and lifting stuff, and I noticed that as I'm doing it, I'm really, really focusing on my breath to my movement, and so it makes everything, you know, I don't feel tired at all. It just feels really good doing the work. So the breathing is just such an important thing. It's like I'm practicing breathing, meditation, yoga, pranayama as I'm working.
Very good, very good. I think that helps your dialogue. Come back, Akin. I think you went down. So it's a dialogue delivery for you that will be improved, you know, quite a bit, and you really have to, you know, like go up and down. You know, that will help you to take the deep breath in, so you will come out much more intonation and all that. So I can give you one specific Brahmari, Hakim. If you do that, that will improve your dialogue delivery and singing too. See.
Well, I'm not acting in this one. I was working in the art department.
Oh, okay.
So I'm behind the scenes, and I've been just lifting and moving around a lot of things. But
I see.
But definitely I have, you know, feel really strong, have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You know, I arrived here in Miami, Fort Lauderdale last night at 1 o'clock, after 1 o'clock in the morning, and so I had to be on set at 8:30. So I woke up in the morning at 6:30 to make sure I got ready and got on time to drive down to Miami. So I only had a few hours of sleep because of that, and I don't feel even tired right now, and I believe a large part of it is because of how mindful and aware I've been of my breath and my breathing.
Yeah. You know, in the morning, Hakim, when you get up in the morning, this is what I do, because there is another YouTube scripts we wrote, and we are making into a day in Dr. Rao's life. What does he do from morning till evening? That can help other people, you know, that how I manage information overload, how I am really focused, how I have this energy. All those clues will be there, directly picturized on me, right? The first thing we did was, what I do, this actually every day happens, right? The moment I wake up, I don't let my devices, everything, or let my mind go all over. I just sit on the side of the bed and then keep my back straight and take 10 deep breaths. And I'm only on my awareness of the breath, nothing else. That really leads me to next, and then everything is done in the present.
Yes.
So do that 10 breaths in the morning. It's wonderful.
I'm gonna make sure I do that, and I'll report back to you the results of it. But
important
like I was
thing
saying earlier, I just wanted to let you know that I'm just really satisfied with the fact that while I'm working, I'm really concentrating, focusing and being aware of my breath, and it's very helpful.
Wonderful. That is the ever renewing energy. You are not burning out with a lot of thoughts. At the same time, you are letting a lot of air go in there for gaseous exchange. The alveolar space is increased. So if you start it in the morning, all the unnecessary thinking, like you and me, we wrote a lot of journals, a lot of, all that. That's all okay. But then retaining that unnecessarily is that energy waste. So, you want to come back if you have more, Hakim. Sorry, it is like 3 minutes and it's going out all the time.
Well, Dr. Rao, all I want to say is just thank you for having me up and listening, and always continuing to remind me of the breathing practice. I mean, it's something, like I said, that's really embedded in part of my behavior, because I've, not only have I been teaching it, but I've been practicing it, and I've practiced it by breath by itself and also with yoga. But I just really appreciate the reminders, and I continue to keep learning more and more about and get these reminders from you about these different techniques and these 10 steps that you just shared, and then also getting up in the morning, sitting on the side of the bed, taking those 10 deep breaths, which lead into 10 more, and then you're just really in that zone of awareness. So just want to say thank you, and
this
have a good night. Appreciate it.
This series is going to go for 3 months. Okay, all weekdays, every day this hour, I'm going to take one tip and encourage people to share their input, so that we can really improvise that. And then, if you want to go deeper into pranayama, there's a 512-week course on that. So you know how deep it could be, but you don't need to. We need to practice. That's what I say. I also practice through the day. I'm already in the deep breath already. Like you are talking, I was taking deep breaths.
That's right.
Very simple. You are talking, I was taking deep breaths. It becomes a great thing. Yeah, nice hearing that you are doing that breathing awareness, Hakim. Wonderful for the mental health also.
Yeah, it's very helpful. So thanks once again, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, sure, Hakim. Thanks for coming up. Yeah, Hakim is somebody who reads a lot, and he brings a lot of scientific data to present to people, which is wonderful. But in between reading those papers, and if you can really come back to who you are at the present time and not really pursue the thoughts very much, you will limit that information overload, and more importantly, the effects of information overload. Information by itself is not the problem, but how we use it into insights and wisdom and learned lessons from the past are okay. But just, repeating the same thing again and again, that's how people get caught in this network of thought that they build by themselves. So that's a pretty deep thing, but basically cultivate in this information age some time. If you cannot do anything else, just to take a breath and deep breath to several times, and that will be wonderful. If you want more health related to breathing, how it can help you, for example, obesity people, I do what's called Agni Sara. Agni means fire. It inculcates the fire around the belly. That is called Jatara Agni in yoga. Right? This is the energy that is coming together of several hundreds of. There are 70,000 energy channels. They are not nerves. They are nadis. They are conduits of energy. They are channels for the energy, like acupuncture, prana, and all these things are the same, right? To elevate that energy around the umbilicus, which is gathered around there, you want to keep that abdominal wall flat. If not, then you can do this Agnisara, where you sit down properly, like anything, like keep your spine straight. Take a deep breath in, breathe out completely, and hold it after you breathe out. Don't breathe anything now. Just after you breathe everything out, and then you are holding it. While holding the breath like that, you move the abdominal wall up and down, up and down. I can go up to 20, 30 times easily because I'm used to that. But in the beginning, maybe you could do 1 or 2, that's fine. Slowly progression, right? But if you can master this and do that, that is a very powerful stimulator of metabolism. You will see it yourself. You are digesting better, you have energy better, and then you are moving better and all that. After certain practice, it won't happen just like a 2 months, 3 months practice. You have to have several months of practice. That also you reach a state where it is really going and massaging your internal digestive, reproductive, all those organs, right? So it's a very good thing for so many things that go wrong with us, okay? Especially people who have hot belly and their energy is very poor, really. So that's one example of how these are very much science. Like I said, BK Sayangat told us he has a course of 512 weeks on pranayama. So I also didn't go through 512 weeks, but maybe I have gone to 52 weeks, something like that. But then not all of them at the same time. As I increased my understanding, as I understood more and more about it, that was pretty phenomenal. Um, I would say now my energy secret is this deep breathing. Okay, of course I don't waste my time on the depletion of the thoughts. If you have too many thoughts, you are going to deplete your energy, because each thought is very powerful. It takes a lot of energy, so you don't want to waste your. That's another secret. I don't deplete my energy, right? So thoughts are only conscious. So remaining in the awareness, which is the presence, and thinking consciously and ending the thought. That's my secret. Why I am not tired. Uh, for a 16-year-old one, I'm not tired, and I may want to rest. I may want to sleep. That's fine. But I'm not tired like I can be if I'm not doing this deeply. So I just want to give you a good idea about how this will help your energy. Okay. So we have another 15 minutes. You guys, anybody wants to come up and talk more about it, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, I will talk about what happens when the smokers and the problems with the smoking really affects your breathing in so many ways, right? So first of all, smoking itself, gives you that nicotine and all that, and then that goes and settles down deep in the lung, right? Suppose you are somebody who is used to the pranayama, and then you can get all that gunk out, right? And then the nidus for cancer or nidus for infections and all that, that is eliminated. This happened in the COVID. You see, in COVID time, people were having this RNA virus that is coming in. That's not even life there. But once it comes in, it has an affinity to the respiratory system. We all know that now. But at the beginning, we didn't know. And people are coming with low saturation, really needing help. So they were put on the respirator, the ventilator, right? And that proved to be their undoing, because they don't have this affinity towards the nicotine thing, like so they were kind of dying very easily once you put them too soon on the ventilator. So the affinity to the respiratory tract is something you understand. Then what we did was we made them take inhalation of normal saline, and then you can take that to the pump, and then that will liquefy all the secretions that they have, and they brought off. With that, whatever virus that was there, it doesn't have the place to go and invade the system. So this mist inhalation, sometimes with some turmeric and all that they do, but then this mist inhalation is something that we used very effectively. And so all we did was, for the physicians, they go to the call room, and there they would take a mist, and then they will lie down and get up, lie down, get up. That kind of postural changes made them get all the gunk out of their trachea, bronchi, and then through the they spit it out, or they swallowed to the GI tract, and that was not going to hurt because it's not affected to that initially. So there was an example about fighting these respiratory illnesses in 1918. They had this influenza pandemic, right? A lot of people died in that. But then one example was B.K. Iyengar is a famous yoga master, and he has like 12, 13 million people in United States as his students. He is big. He died recently, but then he was instrumental my yoga training too. So he kind of a yoga school in Pune, India. Pune is a big city in India, and at that time, 1918, it seems he was a young man, but he already had the school there. And that Pune became the real center of all these influenza cases, right? Um, but in his ashram, few hundred, a few thousand people are there, and they all practice what he taught them about respiratory cleaning. We call it pulmonary toilet in medical terminology, where you get all your gunk from the asthmatic, from the COPD. We have a chest percussion thing that we use, and then that will give the tapping on all the chest and get the secretions out. Okay, for the people who are having emphysema, asthma, and all that. So these people, uh, none of them in that school got infected. Actually, it's very easy to get infection, but they did not, because they developed their inner resilience by doing this pulmonary toilet, deep breathing, and also yoga asanas, right? Because I don't have to be sold about that, because I know how that works and all that, right? So I kind of introduced that to all my family, all my friends, and I will report to you, only a couple of people got infected, and they got over very quickly. But rest of them, my friends and family, no, none of them had it. But later on, couple of people, because they have underlying diseases, they kind of died. But they're advanced age also. Otherwise, they're distant relatives, so they were not doing the yoga pranayama because they do not want to learn. That's fine too. But this is my experience as a physician who is really working for the COVID-19, because I was in epidemiology for a long time, understanding of how these infections come, how we prevent and all that. So I'm very interested in enhancing the immunity and inner resilience of my patients. So I always recommended them deep breath. One simple thing that we did with the patients was there were very fundamental programs way back in 2000 also. Okay, easy breathing. That's on the iPad. My iPad is a big screen too, so I used to put it up there in my waiting room and let um, there are two pistons. As you breathe in, one goes up. As you breathe out, one comes down, like that. So you can practice with the breathing. It's a very simple thing. I used to run the program, put it on the loop, and then I invited asthma, COPD, anybody who had difficulty breathing. I brought them. I told them, only do what you can do. Don't try to compete with the machine. Don't to compete with anybody. And that really helped them. They felt so much better subjectively, so they started to adapt the program. That is kind of what I don't want to see. I want to see everybody does this simple thing that will help them wellness in so many ways. Their energy, their emotional centeredness, intellectual centeredness, and also not spending a lot of energy on the unnecessary thoughts and all. Okay, so this is the way I want this series to go. Take one tip at a time for the wellness, and take home points like you can how to do it, what is the benefit of this tip, and then improvise on it. And if you find something more valuable to add to this, when I come here, you come and present it, we will be delighted. Okay, so there's a lot of things about breathing. I can talk, I can engage you for 3 4 hours, but our important thing is always wake up, do the deep breathing, and take 1 hour or 2 hours, 1 minute break, and do that during the work. And then when you come back, before you go to sleep, also do the deep breathing practices, and then calm your mind down, and then go to sleep. If you can do just this simple, you will notice after a few months how much energy has really gone, and how much mentally sharp and how much emotionally stable you are. You will discover it for yourself. But you have to do it like I do every day. I'm not just telling you guys. I get up with the body, first thing I do is 10 deep breaths. Then my breathing is deep already, and it goes much deeper. And then I do this hour of awareness with my students in the wellness club, right? And then I make them take that presence as a perfume through the day and do the breathing as much as they can. At least 1 minute an hour I prescribe, And then in the evening, when you come home, before you go to bed, do that again. So there are so many other ways. As I said, 10 to 15 different deep I showed them because they are important for different. For example, you want to clear the sinuses. There's what is called vegani or Kapalabhati type 1. What you do is you kind of close your mouth and sit to state that is normal, right? Then breathe through the nose up and down, using the necrosis. It goes like this. Like that. It goes to 20, 30 times slowly. Initially, you may do 2 or 3, that's fine. And later on, you may do 5, maybe next day. So, what is important is practice is daily and progressive training, not straining. That's very, very important. If you do that, that will be very good. This particular vegan I showed you, it will clear all your sinuses. So I never got a cold for the last 15 years now. Anyway, I can go on like this with so many anecdotes, and anybody has any more questions, so they want to come up, you can come up. Tell me how this class is. Is it too boring or too much or too little? Whatever. Whatever you can feed me right away so that I know what's going on. I'm following all the people that are new to me because they came to my room, and I thank them for just by following. Okay, so there is an energy booster, and with this I will end. If everybody is okay and they don't have any questions, I will end this. So what you do is you sit down in the chair. Keep your feet on the floor flat and keep your back straight, not stiff, straight. And then show your palms to the screen, right? Bend the elbows, and now take the hands showing to the camera up. As you go up over the head, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and put them all the way up. Take a deep breath up until that point. Now, suddenly bring both palms down to the original position by breathing out like this. Again, hands gone up, take a deep breath. Okay, 3 times I did. This is a quick energy booster. There are other things too I can show you, but then just one is enough for today. Okay, so if you are interested to learn more about it, you can DM me, and you can come to my wellness club in the morning, and you can DM me, as I said. Okay. All right. So I will stop there. I meant to do at least 1 hour class, so it can go beyond. Sometimes, if the questions are good enough, we can go beyond that. But I would like to see more people participate and more people ask me questions and involve me more into that. I can easily go pretty deep on my own, so I don't want to do that to you. I want to keep it very simple. Okay. All right. I will see you tomorrow with another tip. Okay. This will go on, like I said, 3 months. Okay. Every weekday we will do 1 tip. Altogether 60 tips. Okay, 20 a month, like 3 months. 60 tips I prepared, so I'm going to present all. A lot of them you may know it, but then my perspective and my experience as a physician, as yoga, I want to bring it in so that your wellness is helped. Okay, thank you.